These images, taken less than 5 years ago, were the first ever recorded of that almost mythical inhabitant of the deep sea, the giant squid. Its body is over twice the height of a man, its tentacles 4 times that length. No one before had seen it alive in its natural habitat. Filming it was a historic triumph. Now the scientists and cameramen who captured these amazing pictures have teamed up once again to explore still further the least known part of our planet. They're armed with the latest deep-sea technology and a new highly sensitive camera that can record pictures in near total darkness. The team is heading for a deep-sea gorge off the coast of California. And this time, they hope to reveal another of the ocean's astonishments. Creatures that glow in the deep.
It's so rich, it's so bright, so thick, it's so dense, it's so many different kinds of luminous displays.
And with them, the bizarre animals that prey on them. This is a journey to the Earth's darkest frontier. To try and unravel some of the secrets of these extraordinary living lights. On the west coast of California, 200 kilometers south of San Francisco, lies Monterey Bay, world famous for the richness of its marine life. Cold Pacific currents bring an abundance of nutrients into the bay, which support great numbers of sea mammals, whales, seals, and drifting among the floating kelp, sea otters, floating leisurely on their backs, cracking open shellfish on their stomachs. Beneath the surface of the sea lies the largest underwater canyon off the coast of North America, over 3,000 meters deep and rivaling in size the Grand Canyon. The jagged walls of the Monterey Canyon drop down steeply and create a unique underwater landscape. The cold, sheltered waters provide a home for many deep-sea animals, and new species are still continually being discovered. Between 200 and 1,000 meters deep, light gradually diminishes into blackness. This is the twilight zone where little sunlight penetrates. Many of the creatures that live here produce their own light. The expedition plans to dive down into this zone, guided by Dr. Bruce Robeson, who's worked in Monterey Bay for many years and is a world expert on deep-sea animals.
We have been studying this place for 25 years, and yet we still find new animals. It is like treasure hunting, and you never know the nature of the treasure.
Robeson himself has made many discoveries in Monterey Bay over the years, but he knows well that exploration here has only just begun, and all kinds of astonishments may await. Now the team will deploy his specially designed research submersible for their first exploratory dive. It's unmanned, but it carries a camera that sends pictures to the surface by a cable. pair of inquisitive seals come to check out the strange machine. It slowly descends into deeper waters.
200 meters.
Now it's entered the twilight zone. So little light from the surface reaches these depths that to our eyes it's virtually pitch black. It's time to turn on the sub's lights.
Who's that?
It's a strange ribbon-like worm.
We call them wiggle worms, and they are really fun to watch because they go through all of these contortions, and they make spirals and circles and loops. Well, they seem never to tie themselves into a knot that they can't get out of.
And then another strange creature.
Oh, it's a salp.
Oh.
A salp is, in fact, not one individual, but a chain of nearly 50 linked together. Sea salps are jelly-like filter feeders that suck water in through their tubular mouths and filter out tiny food particles.
DJ, let's stop on that.
Roberson has spotted something else in the darkness. It's a kind of comb jelly called Beroe. Rows of tiny beating hairs run the entire length of its body. It's a magical sight, but it's not bioluminescence. The shimmer is merely reflected from the light coming from the submersible. A small squid appears in the headlights. It hangs in the water, waiting for prey to get caught on its long tentacles. And it has a remarkably large eye for such a small animal. Many creatures here have huge eyes. They need to be able to follow prey or pick out the shape of a predator in the near darkness, and there are plenty of those around. In the open ocean, there is no place to hide. The submersible is now halfway into the twilight zone.
600 meters.
They're hoping to see one still little-known creature that lives at this particular depth. And here it is, a fish called the barrel eye. Its extraordinary head is encased in a transparent dome so that you can look right inside. Its eyes within the transparent shield are enormous and point upwards. Roberson first encountered this bizarre animal over a decade ago.
At this point, we were very, very excited because no one had ever seen one of these alive before. Only specimens that had been caught in nets. And as we watched it, we realized that it looked very different than all the specimens that had been collected by nets. This transparent dome over the eyes had never been seen before. When you catch these in the nets, that's all scraped off.
It was an extraordinary discovery, and the strange fish with a see-through head would make the headlines. While the transparent shield was thought to protect the eyes, it was a puzzle as to how the fish could catch prey with its forward-facing mouth if it can't see what it's feeding on. It was a mystery that Robeson would also solve some years later. Many of the creatures in the deep, like the barrel-eye fish, defy imagination. And here's another, the black sea devil. It's a kind of anglerfish with a bony rod and a luminous lure hanging from it, perched on the top of its head. Every dive down to these depths brings new discoveries.
There's a blackfish.
Oh, go.
Where? Oh, right there. Ooh.
Ooh, it's an excellent dragon.
See? Okay.
Ooh.
It's a deep-sea dragonfish.
I thought that was
It makes
different.
red luminescence.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The red spot just below the eye is a photophore, a light-emitting organ. Even Robeson has never seen it in action before.
Good, let's do it.
The sub has a special suction device with which they might catch it.
Oh!
But it's not easy. Robeson wants to bring it to the surface so that he can study it closely.
Oh, you got him. Got him.
All right. No, he...
Now he'll have to act quickly. With the enormous pressure change, the fish may not be able to produce its light for long. The deep-sea dragon is only 10 centimeters in length. But Robeson is keen to find out how its light-producing organ works. To see the photophore in action, they'll need some highly specialized equipment. The red light emitted by the photophore is too weak to register on an ordinary camera, but the team has developed one that is 600 times more sensitive. Tested outside on a clear night, it produces an astonishingly sharp image of the stars, so it should be able to detect the light produced by bioluminescent animals. The team have set up a filming tank in a darkroom with water that's kept at the same temperature as the deep ocean. With any luck, the dragonfish should behave relatively naturally in these conditions. Under normal lights, the fascinating creature lives up to its name. It looks truly fearsome. And the two photophores are clearly visible under each eye. But in the dark, the photophores light up. They glow in unison, one red and the other blue. And then, a surprise. This is something that no one has ever seen before.
That's unexpected. And it's interesting. Ooh.
It's a spectacular display, but what is its function? It could be to frighten off a predator, but no one knows. We may not find the answer for many years yet. Bioluminescence isn't limited to the ocean. It's found in creatures on land, even in the air. Fireflies flash their lights to attract a mate. Some woodland fungi glow bright green, attracting insects, maybe to distribute their spores. And at certain times of the year, beetle larvae emerge from termite mounds and illuminate them like Christmas trees. But in the deep ocean, 90% of the creatures produce light, and we still know very little about why they do so. The only way to find them in the pitch black is to shine our own lights on them. But when we do that, it's impossible to see the much weaker living lights that the animals themselves produce. So studying the phenomenon is extremely difficult.
The mysteries are how they use it. What are they saying to each other with that light? The problem was that we never had a camera that we could take down and use to record bioluminescence, and that's why it was so important for me to go down and see it with my own eyes.
Now, Robeson and his team have an opportunity to use the latest technology to tackle the problem. They'll be working from the Elusia, the same research vessel that helped the film team find the giant squid.
Nice to meet you, I'm Toby.
Hi, Toby. Haley.
Hi, I'm Taylor.
Mark,
Yeah.
pleased to meet you. I've heard about you.
The high-sensitivity camera system that took 2 years to develop will now be really tested. The crew carry out last-minute checks on the submersible before its dive into the Monterey submarine canyon. At the kind of depths at which they'll be operating, every precaution has to be taken. The camera is carefully installed on a mount attached to the outside of the submersible.
You just keep your hand on it.
At last, everything is in place and they're ready to go.
I'm excited like a boy. I know I'm going to have a lot of fun.
Robeson has spent a good part of his career exploring the ocean depths, but he still gets excited before each dive.
Welcome. Why, thank you.
After his submersible, the Nadia, has been lowered into the water, a second sub, the Deep Rover, is also launched.
What do you think? Both happy?
Yes.
Good. Okay, here we go.
We're flooded.
And the dive begins. Their aim is to descend to a depth of 600 meters into the middle of the twilight zone.
Sent to try me.
Soon, the light levels start to fall, and they enter a dark blue world.
Control, and I did depth 200 meters, descending over.
Some up front.
Yeah, there's quite a long one there, isn't there?
Yes.
This may look like a piece of string, but in fact it's a huge colony of living creatures linked together. They're called siphonophores and are relatives of the jellyfish.
Siphonophores are very unusual creatures. They are a colony of individuals, all connected to one another. We have found individuals that were 40 meters long, longer than a blue whale, the longest creature on Earth.
The individuals at the front contract and expel water simultaneously, so slowly moving the colony forward by jet propulsion. The rest of the chain extend hair-like tentacles to catch passing prey. There may be hundreds, if not thousands, of individuals in a single chain. Each one performs a particular function and occupies a particular place within the colony, much like the organs in our bodies. This super colony works as a team, but how individuals communicate with each other and coordinate their movements is still a mystery.
Ooh, there's Colobonema. Very, very pretty medusa.
Colobonema is a small jellyfish just 5 centimeters long, but it's a strong swimmer, and as the sub gets closer, it puts on a turn of speed.
See, he just dropped his tentacles.
Oh,
Cool, you got it.
The small jelly sheds his tentacles on purpose. It's a ploy to confuse predators. While our eyes follow the discarded appendages, Colobonema makes its escape.
Control, Nadir, passing 570 meters, descending, over.
The sub is nearing the 600-meter mark.
Oh, stop.
Descending, over.
See that fish?
yeah. Slowly.
That's an owlfish.
It seems to be scared of the sub's bright lights. So the crew decide to switch them off. They turn on a much weaker light, adjust the sensitivity of the camera, and the fish comes into view again.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Like many deep-sea creatures, the owlfish has huge eyes which can detect the faintest trace of light, including the living light of its prey. The fish uses the very minimum of energy and simply hangs in the water, waiting for prey to swim by.
Now, having a camera with this sensitivity is very exciting because of the things it may reveal. Things that we don't even know are here, that may appear for the first time.
Yeah.
Again, because we can work with very low light.
Oh, and here's
It's the Beroe comb jelly again. In the submersible's headlights, it shimmers with refracted colors. But what would it look like if the lights were off?
sure.
In the dark, Beroe produces the most astonishing, intricate pattern of light all along its body. This is bioluminescence.
Oh, look at that.
Ooh.
Just here.
That's a big one. Holy cow. What a beauty.
The striking red torpedo is a periphylla jellyfish. It's a voracious hunter that uses stiff tentacles to catch its prey. But it also has another trick up its sleeve.
That's a very luminescent animal when it is stimulated.
Okay.
So as not to scare it, they switch to a red light which the jelly can't detect. And then it starts a totally different performance. It starts to eject the tiny blue particles. They drift away, leaving a trail of twinkling blue lights. What is going on?
No, stay away, stay away, stay away, stay away. Ah.
The crew try to keep away from the jelly, but the currents created by the submersible have disturbed it. Its response is to eject its living lights. It seems that if threatened, Periphylla tries to trick a predator into following the glowing trail and so enable the jelly itself to escape.
Ooh, there's a tomopterid worm.
Yes.
The transparent worm seems to crawl through the water with its bristly legs. But when disturbed, it also ejects glowing lights. Many other bioluminescent creatures make an appearance, and the crew are able to capture their displays with the new camera.
Living in this twilight zone depth range is very challenging for the animals that choose to live here, because there are no rocks or trees or holes in the ground where animals can hide. It's a truly three-dimensional space without boundaries or borders. Light is an extremely important way that the animals deal with the challenges of living here.
The team have been underwater for nearly 8 hours. It's time to come up to the surface. It's 2 days into the expedition, and they're awaiting the arrival of a visitor. Dr. Edith Widow is a world expert on bioluminescence.
Don't step on that. Thank you. How are you? Good.
She's worked with Robeson many times over the years.
Yes, it's great. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. I need all the help I can get.
Oh, yeah.
Widow was part of the giant squid expedition in 2012. She had developed an electric jellyfish that emitted flashing light similar to that used by deep-sea creatures. That had helped the team to attract the giant squid so that they could film it alive for the very first time. Now, Widow has brought along some new gadgets that she's developed specially for this expedition. This is one of them. She calls it a splat screen. If deep-sea creatures unknowingly swim into it, she thinks they'll produce bioluminescence, and their special camera should then be able to film it.
Oh, I think it's going to be an incredible dive. I can't wait to try out the new splat screen, and so to be able to see now what this camera is going to be able to see, because In those early days, I didn't know what I was seeing, and over time I've gotten so I can identify a lot of the animals by the types of flashes they produce, but I think that's going to be even easier to do now with this camera system.
Widder will work from the second submersible, the Deep Rover. And Robertson gets ready to head down in the Nadia again. On this dive, they're planning to descend right to the ocean floor.
Control rover, my depth 770 meters, on bottom, over.
After an hour, they have made it. The seafloor is thronged with fish. Nutrients falling to the bottom and accumulating there attract a great variety of animals.
Isn't this a small little sea pen just there?
Yeah, that's what we want to.
Sea pens are coral-like creatures that anchor themselves to the sea floor. They prefer deep waters where they're less likely to be uprooted by ocean currents. But they're not safe from the robotic arm of the submersible. And when touched, they glow. This is a different kind of sea pen. It produces a blue pulsating light. Widder is keen to try out the new splat screen to see if that will stimulate animals to glow that they might otherwise miss.
Alright, are you ready for the screen up?
Yep. Okay, all lights off.
All lights off.
As their eyes adjust to the darkness, they see the first faint glow. It's a jellyfish, and as it comes closer, Widder is able to identify it.
That's a little jelly.
I think that's a tola. Yeah, it is. It's a tola.
And the ultra-sensitive camera is able to record its complex light display. As it touches the screen, it produces a spectacular strobing of blue light. Widder suspects that the function of this display isn't to scare off the enemy. It may convey another message. Now she brings her electric jellyfish into action. It's programmed to emit the same pattern of light as Atolla. A low-light camera reveals that the blue flashes quickly attract large fish. And a gigantic deep-sea predator. A Pacific sleeper shark, nearly 3 meters long. It's not a threat to the jelly. It seems to be preying on the smaller fish that are, in fact, the jelly's real enemies. So the jelly's flashing lights may be acting as a call for help, a kind of living burglar alarm.
It has this remarkable ability to produce this pinwheel of light. And so clearly, if it was a scream for help, then you would think that that pattern should be very attractive to large predators.
It's an intriguing idea. In the meantime, Bruce Robeson is in the nadir and making his own discoveries.
Rover, Nadir, over.
Ooh, stop.
Sending, over.
See that fish?
Yeah.
This is a viper fish, a fearsome predator, and it too creates light.
You see those spots along his belly? Those are bioluminescent organs.
Ah.
Rows of small photophores run along the length of its underbelly and produce blue light. From below, the fish lights up like an airport runway. Interestingly, many deep-sea creatures generate light on their undersides. Why should this be so? It seems that the lights may actually help to camouflage the animals from predators lurking beneath them. One creature that uses its lights to this effect is the firefly squid. Hundreds of tiny photophores illuminate their bodies. Why don't these bright lights attract predators? A small amount of light from the surface filters down into the twilight zone. So from below, a black silhouette would be clearly visible and make an easy target for deep-sea hunters.
A predator from down below looking for a meal might see the body of an animal silhouetted against the lighted waters above and would use that silhouette as a guide to strike and feed on it.
But the squid's lights prevent that by breaking up its silhouette. Through a thick layer of water, this effect is even more pronounced. And by controlling the intensity of its own light to match the background, the animal blends into its surroundings. So, contradictory though it may sound, light, in fact, conceals.
Many animals who live in this part of the ocean eliminate that threat by producing light along their bellies and erasing their shadows so that they cannot be seen.
But there is one predator that's not deceived by this trick: the barrel eye. It has evolved its own special hunting technique. It hangs almost motionless in the water with its large eyes directed upwards, searching for the faint silhouettes of prey overhead.
The eyes are green because they contain a pigment that screens out bioluminescence that other animals use to hide with, so it's not fooled by the counter-illumination of that bioluminescence.
Although no one has ever seen how the barrel eye hunts, Robeson has studied the animal closely and come up with a theory. It feeds on small krill and other plankton. Some prey try to hide by using bioluminescence. But seen through the eyes of the barrel eye, the deception has not worked. The hunter can clearly see its prey. The barrel eye approaches stealthily from below, and as it rises to the level of its prey, it rotates its eyes. Eternal darkness has caused creatures that live here to evolve all kinds of shapes and strategies that are utterly different from those we use ourselves. And one of the key elements is the ability to create light.
They just seem strange to us because we are so accustomed to living in a very different world.
Some are virtually blind, and rely on other senses to catch their food, while others have particularly large eyes that enable them to see in the dimmest of light. They've all evolved their own ways of dealing with the darkness, but most of them use bioluminescence in some way or other. So perhaps it's not surprising that nature's greatest light show happens in the one place where there is continuous darkness.
Control rover, passing 300 meters, ascending.
Deep Rover is slowly heading upwards with the splat screen still extended. It lights up with the glow of small creatures that come into contact with the net. By freezing the image from the camera, it's possible to identify some of the animals that are creating the light. These are copepods, small crustaceans just a few millimeters long. When threatened, they can discharge a bioluminescent liquid. They're one of the most abundant creatures in the ocean and the main source of food for many fish. These small creatures may provide a clue to understanding why bioluminescence is so widespread in the deep ocean. It's long been a mystery as to how deep-sea animals produce light, but science is now beginning to find some of the answers. Most deep-sea animals produce bioluminescence with a molecule called coentyrazine. When this reacts with certain enzymes in their bodies, it produces light. So bioluminescence may seem like magic, but in fact it's the result of a straightforward chemical reaction. But there is nonetheless one mystery. Most deep-sea animals themselves cannot produce this light-emitting substance. So where does it come from? A Japanese researcher, Yuichi Oba, may have found the answer. Oba has been studying deep-sea copepods, and he's discovered that one particular species is able to make coentyrazine within its body. It's called Metridia pacifica. We still don't know how many others can do the same, but it's a clue as to where the luminous molecule could have come from. But how is it that the same molecule is also found in many other deep-sea creatures? Well, it appears that it's spread through the food chain. Copepods are the main source of food for many shrimps and small fish, so the coentyrazine molecule will be transferred into the bodies of their predators. The shrimp, in turn, may pass on the molecule to their predators, squid and larger fish, which in turn are eaten by even larger hunters. So the light-emitting molecule could have spread from prey to predator and so through the whole community of deep-sea animals. It's an extraordinary thought that the living light produced by some of the smallest creatures in the sea could be the basis for the incredible light shows in the ocean. The precise function of bioluminescence may vary. Some use it to intimidate their enemies, others to hide from predators or to call for help. But the meaning of many of their messages still remains a mystery. As the expedition draws to a close, the team prepare for one last dive to watch a particularly spectacular event. It happens every night as the sun drops below the horizon. It's a time when vast numbers of deep-sea creatures rise towards the surface. The team are hoping to film the spectacle and the light show that goes with it. And to do that properly, they will deploy both submersibles.
When we get up to 200 meters or maybe 100, we should coordinate. And if there is a thick layer of luminescence, we should try to shoot each other as we drive through it.
The submersibles are launched while there's still light. As they descend deeper and night falls, they once more enter the world of darkness. And it's not long before they're traveling through a large swarm of krill.
Not bad, just going up.
The small crustaceans are on their daily migration up to the surface, where they will feed on plankton. Others have also been hiding in deep waters to avoid predators. Now there's a mass migration of animals up towards the surface where food is more abundant. But this vast migration attracts some bigger hunters. It's an electric torpedo ray. They usually live down near the bottom, but at night it comes up to feed. It's 5:30 p.m. and the sun has set. The submersibles are in position.
Control, and I did 200 meters with rover, over.
The submersibles are hanging motionless at a depth of 200 meters. But to really see what they've come for, they need to turn off all the lights.
Let's give it a try.
The first glowing lights appear. And the show begins. With every passing minute, the firework display gets bigger. The subs are now surrounded by light on all sides.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Wave after wave of living lights well up from the deep.
So, copepods and krill and Ixnanomia. There's a suggestive way up here.
Millions of glowing marine creatures continue to appear, and amongst them could well be other strange life forms that we've not yet encountered. The underwater night sky is now illuminated by hundreds of shooting stars. The show continues for over 2 hours. And when they come back up to the surface, the scientists are ecstatic.
Look at that. It is the Milky Way, but it's also scientifically very interesting that you can actually see the different colors.
But scientists have yet to discover the meaning of many of these living lights and how and why they are produced.
Most of the animals in this vast, vast volume make light, and that much of it we still don't understand what it's used for. That's a huge mystery.
We have only begun to explore, and we continue to find new discoveries every time we go into the ocean. So, yes, we've only begun to find out what's down there, to learn how these pieces of a gigantic puzzle fit together and work as an ecosystem. Yes, we're just getting started.
The deep oceans and their mysterious light-producing creatures have long been out of our reach. Now, with the help of new technology and the latest research, we're beginning to unravel some of their secrets. But many mysteries remain, and we're still a long way off from understanding just what makes these marvelous living lights glow in the abyss.